The thing that changes our lives is not a person, but a creature that is always ready to run away. Lucas Harper was 16 when his family moved to Texas, a land so vast that it made every thought feel small. The sky stretched endlessly, the wind carried dust and the scent of dry grass. But to Lucas, it was all just emptiness. He didn't try to adapt. He didn't make friends. He didn't talk. At school, he chose a seat at the back of the classroom, where no one's gaze could reach him. Lucas didn't hate people, he just didn't trust them. Behind the new house was an old horse stable. The wood was faded, the door slightly warped by time. His father bought a horse, saying he needed it to visit the distant fields, and Lucas would learn to ride. Lucas didn't ask anything more, but he still went to look. The horse stood still. Its dark brown coat shimmered under the afternoon sun. Its eyes were large, deep, and calm. His father called it Orion, a name that sounded like a constellation, distant yet precise. Lucas stood a few meters away. Orion didn't come closer, but its ears shifted slightly, one toward Lucas, the other toward the distant field. Horses can listen in two directions at once. They are always aware of the world, even when they don't move. Lucas realized Orion was never careless. In the following days, Lucas began visiting the stable more often. Not because he liked it, but because it was quiet. No one asked what he was thinking. No one expected him to be someone. Orion ate slowly. Every movement was efficient. Horses can run incredibly fast, but most of the time they choose stability. They conserve energy for when it truly matters. Lucas had never lived like that. One afternoon, a metallic clang echoed from afar. Lucas flinched. Orion reacted too. It lifted its head, ears forward, eyes wide, but it didn't run. It observed. Horses are prey animals. In nature, their survival instinct is not panic, but evaluation. Only when they are certain of danger do they sprint away. Lucas saw it clearly. He stepped closer. Orion turned its head. Its gaze wasn't friendly, but not hostile either. Just a quiet measurement. The distance between them felt like an invisible boundary. Lucas reached out his hand. Orion didn't move. It stayed still. Horses don't give trust easily. One mistake can cost them their lives, so they never rush. Lucas lowered his hand. In that moment, he understood something no one had ever taught him. Trust cannot be demanded. It must be built. In the days that followed, Lucas began cleaning the stable, refilling water, feeding the horse. No words, no expectations, just consistent presence. Orion began to change. Not obviously, not suddenly, but in small steps. It stood closer when Lucas entered. It no longer kept the same distance as before. One morning, Lucas stood close enough to notice every detail. A horse's eyes are positioned on the sides of its head, allowing it to see almost everything around it, but there are blind spots directly in front and behind. Lucas stood slightly to the side. Orion didn't startle. Lucas realized understanding the structure of a creature is the first way to avoid hurting it. Orion stepped forward. Gently, slowly. It rested its head against Lucas's shoulder. No warning, no drama, just a light touch. But it was a moment Lucas could never return from. He began learning to ride. At first, Lucas was tense, his breathing was quick, his body stiff. Orion reacted immediately. Its steps became unstable, its rhythm uneven. Horses don't read words, they read bodies. Lucas stopped, took a deep breath, relaxed. Orion changed. Its steps became smoother, its rhythm steadier. Lucas understood. The world doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to your state. At school, Lucas began to observe. No longer avoiding. No longer rushing to judge. Just like Orion, assessing before reacting. He realized people were the same. They feel emotions before they hear words. Lucas didn't try to fit in. He simply became more stable. One day, the teacher called his name. Lucas stood up. No trembling, no avoidance, just answered. No one laughed. No one reacted negatively. Lucas realized his fear had never been reality. It was just an uncontrolled reflex. At the farm, Lucas continued learning. He discovered that horses can sleep standing up. A locking system in their legs allows them to rest while staying ready to run at any moment. It's not tension, it's preparation. Lucas began to understand more deeply. Always ready, but not panicked. Always aware, but not tense. Time passed, Lucas changed. Not loudly, not suddenly, but clearly. He began helping others approach horses. Many failed. They tried to control, they tried to force. But Orion didn't respond. Horses don't follow authority, they follow trust. Lucas realized this wasn't just animal behavior, it was a principle. He began building a small space behind the farm. No signs, no promotion. Just a place where people could stand beside horses, connect, and reflect on themselves. The first people who came brought chaos, anxiety, loss of control. But standing next to horses, they couldn't pretend. Horses reflect the truth. If they were tense, the horse stepped back. If they were calm, the horse moved closer. Lucas didn't teach much. He let them experience. Word spread. Slowly, but steadily. Lucas began raising more horses, each with its own personality. Some sensitive to the slightest movement, some stubborn, needing time to trust, some strong, reacting quickly to any change. Lucas didn't change them. He understood them, and taught others how to understand. Years passed. The small farm became a model, not just raising horses, but nurturing a community. People didn't come to learn riding, they came to learn relationships. Lucas didn't advertise, but his name spread, not only within the country, but across the world. People didn't call him a trainer, they called him someone who understands horses and understands people. Other farms tried to copy the model, but failed, because they copied actions, not the state. Lucas didn't change, he kept his principles. No forcing, no rushing, no pretending. His farm wasn't the biggest, but it was the most unforgettable. Because what people learned there could not be forgotten. Lucas was no longer the shy boy, but he didn't become someone else. He simply became clearer, more stable, and harder to replace. It all started with Orion, a horse that can listen in two directions at once, that can see almost the entire world around it, that can sleep standing, always ready, and that only gives trust when you truly deserve it. Some lessons don't come from people, because people talk too much. Nature says nothing. If you are quiet enough to observe, you will realize the animal world is not simple. It just doesn't explain. And that's why you must understand it yourself. If you want to continue exploring lessons like this, subscribe to the channel, not just to gain more value, but to help this journey go further, so we can discover the profound truths hidden within the mysterious world of animals.